Foreshock, fuck that big homie, we know where. Them niggas gonna be at club. Their rage was evident. Ignited upon learning that my nephew Baby Lane had gotten jumped. How? Y'all know? I calmly asked. Them niggas been on the radio out here for weeks, talking about a death row after fight party at club. That nigga pack's supposed to be there too. Club was a Las Vegas nightclub owned by death row CEO Suge Knight. The intelligence was from reliable sources, as some of the younger homies from our set had been stationed in Vegas selling dope, a satellite operation of sorts. Aighty homies, I commanded. That's where we're going. Club as we headed to our vehicles. Southside had not gone down to Vegas thinking about marrying Suge Knight or Tupac Shakur. We were out there to do what we had been doing in Vegas for 5 years: eat, drink, and be merry. When conversations would come up about $1 million bounty on the heads of Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur, that was business. But after Tupac, Suge, and them death row niggas jumped on my nephew Baby Lane, the shit became ominously personal. While we were waiting for the valet to bring out our cars, Zip seized the opportunity and called me over to his Benz. Zip was a big-time New York player, pimp, and hustler who used to come out to California to handle his business and kick it with us sometimes. As I walked up to the driver's side window, I noticed that the rapper Foxy Brown was in the car with Zip. So he instructed her to step out of the car and motioned for me to jump in. Zip had a hidden compartment that he opened up, reached in and pulled a black 40 Glock out. He turned to me and said, "It's time to get the money. This money." Zip handed me the 17-shot pistol, which I promptly put down the back waist of my pants. I hopped out of the car, held the door open for Foxy Brown to get back in, closed the door, and they pulled off. "Get in the car you came in, let's roll," I shouted as our cars came out from the valet. We left immediately from the MGM parking lot and headed directly to club. I was still appropriately dressed in my Ray Luca Crime Story suit, since there was about to be a real-life 6 Crime Story. We pulled into the back parking lot of club, where the talent and VIPs entered. In front of the club, there was a long line of excited, drunk people waiting to enter the club. First plan to confront Suge. "Hey nigga, why the fuck y'all jump on my nephew?" The ironic thing is I'd just seen Suge in Vegas the night before the fight. He and members of his death row crew were rolling in their Rolls Royces. We greeted each other and everything. "Players, what's up, big dog? What's up?" We were both major in the same game. Suge had the music industry. I had the streets. We both had the same boss. If Suge and them niggas had a beef with, we were both major players in the game. Suge had the music industry. I had the streets. We both had the same boss. Something Southside had done. Suge could have said something to me when he saw me that night. Instead, Suge and his boys committed the ultimate disrespect when they kicked and beat down my nephew, Baby Lane, in a video broadcast on news stations seen around the world. In case my diplomatic approach to resolving the situation didn't work, we had 3 vehicles, 3 to 4 people in each, ready to burn their asses up. 7. Inside our vehicles, nobody took a drink. There was no weed, no music, not a peep. We were as serious as a heart attack. My crew was do or die. All my young homies had already been shot at least once. So, their street experience turned them into some stone-cold killers. They had the mentality of, it's either them or me, and it ain't gonna be me. With solemn faces, we waited in complete silence in the back parking lot of club for more than an hour. Inside our vehicles, nobody took a drink. There was no weed, no music, not a peep. We were as grave as a heart attack. The only thing audible was, niggas breathing intense, throbbing heartbeats. There was no need for words. We all understood why we were there. We waited for an hour and a half, which felt more like 4 hours. I decided for us to get the fuck out of there. I called the homies on their phones. "They're taking too damn long. Let's get fucked up, move out." One by one, the drivers started their engines and slowly crept out of the back parking lot. Lucky for them, they never showed up, because it would have been like Al Capone's Valentine's Day massacre if they had. One thing about our crew, when it was time to handle business, we handled it with the best of them. And when it was time to have fun, we did that too. It's not that we were over what had happened to Baby Lane, it's just we couldn't control when them niggas were going to show up. Waiting so long was stopping us from doing what we had gone to Vegas to do in the first place: have a good time. Our next destination was the Carriage House, a Las Vegas hotel where we had rented a few rooms as a kickback spot. On the way to the Carriage House, we stopped by the liquor barn to buy some bottles of Dom Perignon Rose, and Cristal. As we were driving to the liquor barn, it became evident that the guys in the van with me were worried that Suge would get some of his police hitmen to come back and try to kill us if we went after them. "The police do hits for that nigga," one of them said. "First remember," thinking to myself, "y'all shouldn't have jumped your punk asses in here if you're scared. Y'all know what we came here to do." C-Ray, who was one of my top salesmen and later became the first one to start snitching on niggas, was in the van with me along with his cousin Trey and BMF's Big Meech out of Detroit. As we were loading up to leave the liquor barn, I took advantage of the chance to get away from them scary niggas in the van. First jumped in the front passenger seat of the Cadillac because I knew that the niggas in the caddy wasn't with that bullshit. First pulled out the Glock that Zip gave me and tossed it in the back seat. Bubble Up did the driving. Baby Lane and Freaky were riding in the back. After our pit stop at the liquor barn, we continued toward the Carriage House. As we were driving, the 2 vehicles that were with us got caught. The terrified expression on Suge's face read, "Damn, them niggas." No words were exchanged. The time for talking had passed. The shit was about to go down. At the traffic light, we kept rolling. A few blocks down, we were sitting at the light, and who the fuck did we see? The death row caravan hit the corner with Tupac hanging out of the window of a black luxury BMW waving to his fans. People on the streets were screaming, "Tupac, Tupac, we love you, Tupac." In unison, all of our heads turned. There the motherfuckers go right there. If Pac had not been hanging out of the window, we would have never seen them. Bust a U, WP busted a U-turn and hit the gutter lane on their asses. As they sat in traffic, we slowly rolled past the long line of luxury cars they had in their caravan. We were on a mission, looking into each one until we pulled up to the front vehicle and found 10, who we were seeking, like two rams, locking horns. Shuj and I looked each other dead in the eye, our eyes locked, the terrified expression on Shuj's face read, "Damn. Them niggas." No words exchanged. The time for talking had passed. The shit was about to go down. VVV, Kefid D is my name. Shuj Knight and I are the only living eyewitnesses to what truly happened on September 7, 1996, on the Vegas Strip between the occupants of our two vehicles. This deadly confrontation would change hip-hop history and my life forever, contrary to what some may think based on depictions from bullshit-ass TV shows, documentaries, and movies. We were not pants-sagging gangbangers looking for trouble. Far from it. At the time of the incident, I had risen the ranks to become a major shot caller for the notorious Southside Compton Crips. First was running a multi-million-dollar nationwide drug empire. Many of you have heard my name, but you don't know my story. You only know the bullshit that has been written and said about me by police, private investigators, and their punk-ass confidential informants. Fasten your seatbelts. It's my turn. Here I come. Straight out of Compton. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were all going direct to